Hello everybody, this is Dr. Fraud Michael Skiba here. Welcome to the second episode book review, Psychology of Fraud by me. So, what we're going to be talking about in this episode is a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is on criminological theory. Now, I could talk ad nauseum about this because I find this so intriguing, and especially when we take that and integrate all of those criminological, psychological principles into the counter fraud setting, which is very rarely done. And that's basically why I wrote this book. Back when I was doing my dissertation, 2012, 2013, I remember when I was proposing my topic in front of the board, my mentors and the committee, they, when I started to talk about insurance fraud and psychology of fraud and things of this nature, they were so excited about this topic. And usually they shoot down 80 of 100 topics that they hear. So they were very excited. So that led me down this path of looking at research. And what I found was that there's very limited research in our area. And furthermore, even less research focusing on psychology and how it's integrated in white-collar crime and financial crime and fraud in general. So what this chapter focuses on, chapter 2, is it focuses on creating that foundation, that criminological foundation that you're going to need to integrate into your counter-fraud efforts, which is what we get into later on in the book. Now, how we break down the chapter is basically by talking about the three different schools of thought. And the three different criminological schools of thought, which I cannot seem to find the exact chart right now, but pretend it's in front of you. So, the three buckets are the psychological school, sociological school, biological school. Okay, now each of those have hundreds of different theories that apply in many different settings. They've been studied, researched, and applied in all those different areas. Now, what I did as part of the book and part of my research is look at each of those schools of thought and see if they do apply in a financial fraud setting. And what I found, if you look at the biological school focuses on inborn factors that you have, okay, and how they influence your behavior, all right? So I do not believe a lot of those theories apply because we can't adjust anything biologically in our subjects or offenders that would help us with our preventative efforts, okay? So I kind of crossed those out. Now then I went into the psychological school. Psychological school focuses on mental flaws and deficiencies. So then I ask myself, I put my academic hat on and I say, okay, is there anything we can do from a strategic standpoint to focus on changing someone's internal inborn psyche or mental flaws? Answer would be no again. All right, so that leaves us with the sociological school of criminology. Now, I myself consider myself an opportunistic environmental criminologist. And what that means is that I believe that a lot of behavior is driven by opportunity or lack thereof. All right, so I fully believe the sociological theories apply because they focus on sociology, okay, which is environmental factors. Because what I've seen, even in the 2 decades that I worked, in the trenches in counter fraud and fighting financial crime, I found that they seem to be drawn, to these opportunity areas, okay? So from a corporate perspective, we can absolutely make an impact on that because we can control those vulnerable areas. We can control the opportunities that we are presenting to the fraudsters, all right? You can try to plug those gaps. And that's what Chapter 2 does. It focuses on kind of a much more in-depth analysis of those three schools, but then keys in on the sociological schools and the multiple very specific theories like rational choice and strain theory that you can focus on and integrate into your counter-fraud efforts. So that's the last phase of that, which we get into in the last part of that chapter, is specific things that you can do by using those criminological, psychological theories. Okay, so I think you're really going to like Chapter 2. Stay tuned for Chapter 3. Until next time, I'm Dr. Fraud.